We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The emergency alert system has been activated.
My brethren, be strong in the Most High, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand and withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High Yah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1.
Shabbat Shalom to the Center Park family, the Most High Yah. We welcome you once again to another Sword of the Spirit biblical teaching. Hallelujah. Praise, O servants of Yah. Praise the name of Yah. Blessed is the name of Yah from now on and forevermore. For the rising of the sun to its going, Yah's name is to be praised. Yah is high above all nations, his glory above the heavens. Who is like you, O Yah, our Elohim, who sits on high? Who humbles himself to consider all the earth and the heavens? Yah raises up the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy out of their dunghill in order to make him sit with the nobles of his people. Yah causes the barren to live in the house as a joyful mother of sons. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. I'm going to bring in my sister and co-teacher in the faith. Shabbat Shalom. Sis, how are you doing today?
Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah. What a beautiful reading. Hallelujah.
Psalms 113, 113.
Yes. Psalms 113. All right now.
Today has been a day. It's been a busy trying to get today's teaching. Been working on this all day. We are, doing this a little bit later than usual, but praise Yah, I got this done. I wasn't planning on doing the teaching today. I was planning on working on a different lesson. However, I was led to do what you see before you today, which is the spiritual immune system. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the spiritual immune system. I know we've been spending a lot of time, especially Prina, with this. I'm just tired of even saying the name.
Yeah, I know.
That virus, it has wreaked havoc on the lives of everyone nationwide.
Yes,
it's a global,
yes, it is.
It's a global irritant at this point.
Yes,
it is shut down schools, closed restaurants, closed businesses. There are some nations that are on complete 24-hour lockdown. I mean, but
yes.
We did this teaching before. And last Sabbath, we all gathered with a group of sisters, and just to kind of bring a little bit of clarity to what's going on for those who don't know. And pretty much we talked about, if you didn't see the teaching that I did, I can't even remember which one it was because there's so many, he's just been giving so many revelations. I believe it was the one before last, where I broke down COVID-19.
Yeah.
And how I truly believe that this is a judgment just based off of when it was broken down into the Hebrew. And then also, just in light of everything that's been going on, Prina, the fires, the earthquakes, the dust storms that have been going on. What else? It's been tornadoes.
Yes. I mean, it's been some storms over in Egypt, and the locusts.
Yeah, fires.
And fires across the continents,
Yes.
And so
this is definitely his.
Yes, I believe so. Judgment. I believe these are Yah's judgments, because we are in the signs of the time and end time. So I truly believe that his judgments, his four-sword judgments, are upon the earth. So
yes, because when you have all these things going on simultaneously, he said that if calamity come, if he shuts up the sky or the heavens, that there be no rain. If he bring the locusts to devour up the earth or the land of his people, he said, I've done that. Have I not done these things? He said, I'm the one that have done these things. And so we know that when we have this many things occurring, these are his four-sword judgments that are going on in the earth right now. And this is the time, as I was saying, Prina, for everyone now, all this time you have available where you're at home, this is not the time to be sitting up chilling. This is the time for you to draw near. No one can say, I didn't have the time now. Time for you to
Yeah.
draw nearer and closer to Yah. Begin to study and seek His face, because I truly believe this time we're given, like, just based off of the dreams and the visions that I've been seeing with the 666
Yes.
and double six. Yah wants to establish this connection, and He's giving you the opportunity now. And so, having said that, I'm going to go ahead and get started with today's teaching. So again, today's teaching, we are that is entitled The Spiritual Immune System, because we've been focusing on preparing, everyone has been preparing for the coronavirus, preparing how to not to be affected by this disease, not to catch it, because they're saying it's deadly, and there are people who are dying. But and I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time talking about the coronavirus today, because what I want to do and what the Father Yah has given to me to do is to shift your focus a minute. For those of you who are spending all your time focusing on how to prevent um, contracting the coronavirus, and making sure that, like they say, practicing social distancing. Well, that's just another word for those of us who are believers. It's another word for being set apart, okay, for being kadosh, for being holy. And so there's nations who have just about every nation has been affected, but you don't see the warmer continents being affected as much as those who live in more warmer, cooler climates. Okay. From what we've learned about it, it's resistant to heat. It is not resistant to heat. And I'm going to reveal at the end of the teaching, for those of you who listen at the end, some things that I have been doing in the past, and I stopped doing this, and just how that if you do catch it, a very good way of killing it, because I don't think there's no cure. There's no cure for the common cold. There's no cure for these viruses, but if you do contract them, there's ways where you can lessen the symptoms or eliminate them altogether. So, and I will reveal that at the end of the teaching today. And today's teaching is not going to be a long teaching, but it is going to be impactful. And so, just some information, that it's spread to more than 53 countries worldwide, and more than 3,300 confirmed have been infected by this. Some of this, I have to be 100% honest, when I don't believe the hype that has been going on. The news and the media have been sensationalizing. They have been fear-mongering, causing the panicking that is going on now. Everyone, that has a cold, pretty much now, if somebody sneezes, if somebody cough, you looking at them thinking they got the coronavirus. And so everyone, wants to know what's going on. They talk about the symptoms of runny nose, and then they talk about the throat, where it lives in the back of your nasal passages and in your throat area for about 4 days. And that's where it is strengthened, because that's the coolest part of your body. Then it makes its way down into your lungs. And so again, the media is responsible for a lot of the panic. And we're going to talk about today the people of Yah, what we should be doing, how we should be responding to this, and what should we be preparing for coronavirus, and building up. And people are, dousing down vitamin C, and we're focusing on building up our immune system, because we're panicking. Everyone is in the entire world is in the uproar. They even saying that the Pope is on lockdown, which I don't believe that at all. I don't believe any of these NBA players they're saying has it. I don't believe they have it at all. I don't believe any of these stories that they're putting out at all, because they're setting us up, as we stated last Sabbath, for everyone to line up and think, oh, you gotta, get this mandatory, get this vaccination shot. They're working on that. And so with that, it's going to become depopulation. So, so everybody wants to know, what do I do, if I feel sick? Anytime anybody feels sick now, you can't even think it's the flu or the regular cold. You're thinking you have it. So people are searching for answers. They want to know, what do I need to do if I get it? How will I know if I have it? So the immune system in itself, while everyone is concerned about preparing, again, for the COVID-19, worrying about boosting their immune system so that they don't catch this. I've never seen a nation, I mean the entire globe, preparing for a virus, and majority of the world claim to be believers. And I have never seen this much preparation for the coming return of our Messiah, Yeshua. But we're spending the majority of our time preparing for this. And you look at the picture on the left, I'm still trying to figure out the psychology. Maybe somebody else can help me understand the psychology behind toilet paper and the connection to the coronavirus and why we must stock up on, I could see non-perishable foods, water, but toilet paper, I'm still there. I have not been able to find toilet paper in over 2 weeks now. Okay, haven't been able to find it. I've been going everywhere, from the dollar stores to the CVS's, the Walgreens, the Rite Aids. I mean, everywhere. You can just, it's not available. They're out of it. Okay, so this is what you see when you go to the stores. We're, instead of preparing for salvation, instead of preparing for the coming return of our Messiah, the world is preparing with toilet paper. Okay, their preparation is for the flesh. They're preparing for the world, for that which can sustain them in this life. They're not concerned about what is going to sustain them for the life hereafter, because your body does go to a place, not your body, but your soul does go to a place after you die. Okay, we're there again. Hand sanitizer. You go, you can't find toilet paper there. Hand sanitizer and toilet paper. That's how, with all that's going on right now, it's very few people that I have seen even mention getting their life right, repenting. Even how many have even sat and considered while they were in line, stocking up on toilet paper and hand sanitizer? How many? I'm wondering how many have actually sat back and thought, you know what? Could this be a sign that we're at the end? Could this be a sign that I need to repent and change my life? Is this can I use this opportunity to draw closer to the Father and to dig in His Word and to examine myself to see if I'm in the faith? I have seen very few or heard of very few people actually utilizing this time for that. And so for today's teaching, strengthening your spiritual immune system, we're going to analyze the bodily immune system and its function. We're going to also discuss the spiritual immune system. Okay, what is the spiritual immune system? We're going to talk about how to build spiritual immunity against attack. Okay, and then we're going to reveal how the spiritual immune system should mimic the bodily immune system, and it's divine. And then finally answer the question, should the people of Yah fear COVID-19? And so the spiritual immune system, as you will see momentarily, we're gonna first thoroughly go over the bodily immune system and the way that Yah has designed it And then you will see, just from the way that Yah designed our bodily immune system, it is the way our spiritual life should mimic the way that our immune system and the way Yah designed it, and the way that it functions. We're going to learn today about the function, the primary function of the body's immune system. And then we're going to compare. Okay, we're going to compare and talk about the similarities and how the body of believers in our Father Yah and Yeshua, your spiritual immune system, because we're talking about building up the body. Yes, it is important. I'm not saying or negating the fact that it is important to build up your physical bodily immune system, because I cannot do what I'm doing right now. We cannot work. You know, we are here in the earth, and while we're here, we have to be good stewards over what Yah has blessed us and given to us. So yes, we do have to build up our immune system and eat right, eat clean, as well as build up the spirit man to be able to do the work of the Father Yah and to be able to live. However, if we're building up the bodily man, the flesh, yet our spiritual immune system is weak, that we will not make it into the kingdom. There are a lot of people who work out at Lifetime Fitness and Planet Fitness, and they work out and they got the fitness plan. They're at the gym, they're lifting weights, they're exercising, they're healthy, they eat right, fruits and vegetables, drink lots of water, and you will look at them and say, wow, they got it all together. But yet their spiritual life is an absolute mess. Spiritually, they're weak. Okay, spiritually, they would be considered someone who is malnourished, underweight. Okay, someone that maybe did not receive the nutrients and the minerals and that were needed to sustain life. So we're going to talk about, how do I strengthen my spiritual immune system? We're going to be going back and forth. We're going to be going back and forth today. We're going to be going back and forth between the bodily immune system versus the spiritual immune system. And it's not really a versus, but for you to be able to compare as you see me go back and forth. So we're going to be watching some videos from a doctor, and this doctor's channel is really good for giving you information, and just giving you the pure information without all the fluff. Okay. We're going to be watching some of his clips, and this is the reason why I'm doing today's teaching, from watching his video last night or yesterday. And as I was watching his video on the immune system and how to boost the bodily immune system, my spirit was quickened. And all these, as he was speaking about the bodily immune system, as he's going to explain, and it's going to be in small clips, so you're going to see, because I'm going to be going back and forth based off of what he's presenting for the bodily immune system. I was given scriptures for the spiritual, and this is the reason why I stated earlier that our spiritual immune system should be mimicking the bodily immune system that Yah has designed and set up within us. Okay, and then this is also going to show you that how, if we do not take care of our bodies, okay, if we do not eat and drink the things that are going to nourish our body and to build up our immune system, if our immune system is weak, when the attack comes, we're not able to withstand, and we get sick. Like some people, they're always getting sick, or so we're gonna go into the video. We're gonna start with the first clip, and I'll be coming back and forth. And so he's gonna, all the clips that you're gonna see him, his name is Dr. Berg. He's going to be just giving you some information on the bodily immune system, and then I will be comparing that with the spiritual.
How do we strengthen and bulletproof our immune system? That is the topic for today. The first thing is, what is your immune system? It's basically your defenses, it's your army, it's your military to fight off the bad guys, the pathogens. Pathogens are microbes that cause disease. The derivation of the word immune comes from the Latin word immunis, which means exempt from public service. Now that's interesting. Now, if you break down this concept, it really means protected or free against insult, harm, or disease. So basically, your immune system protects you against disease.
So he said that your immune system protects you from disease. He says immunis is Latin for immune, immunis, and it means free from public service. So think about that for a moment. Free from public service. So what does this mean? What does this mean when it says free from public service? And I'm going to show you up on the screen some of the scriptures that came to my mind. But the first thing the Father wanted me to do was to come to you with, let's talk about some synonyms for immune. Because we're talking about building up your immune system, both not just bodily, but spiritually. So to be immune to anything is to be invulnerable. Okay, you're not vulnerable to whatever it is that is trying to attack you. It means to be resistant. Okay, to be unaffected. Okay, so you think about if I have a virus or a bacteria that is trying to invade my body, if you have a strong immune system, it is going to be resistant to it. You're not going to be affected by it. Whereas other people who have a weak immune system, they're going to be sick. You understand what I'm saying? So to be immune means to be resistant, to be unaffected, to be free from, to be safe. Okay. It means to be being hardened to whatever it is that is trying to attack you. It means to be insusceptible. Okay, you are not susceptible to whatever it is. And once again, to be not affected, to be not subject to be protected. Okay, unanswerable. Okay, you are unanswerable. So again, he said that immunis is Latin for free from public service, meaning I do not answer to the people. Okay, and so the immune system, as Dr. Berg stated, is an army, okay, a military to fight off the bad guys. So Yah has designed our immune system. Our immune system, because my mother was asking me about this the other day, what is the immune system? It said the immune system is your army, your literal army in your body. And this is the reason why when you get sick of a virus or a bacteria, a harmful bacteria invades your cells, you begin to get a fever. You get a fever and your temperature is rising because your body is at war. You are at war at this time, okay? And so your body is heating up to kill this pathogen off. And so the immune system is free from or protects you from harm, insults, and disease. So immediately when I saw that the immune system is free from or protects you against harm, insults, and disease, I began to think about a lot of different scriptures, especially when it talks about insult. And in this walk, we are going to be, and just think about the parable of the seed sower, okay, and how certain seeds, they will be glad when they hear, and joyous when they receive the word, But then as soon as they are persecuted, okay, now they are now insulted. The word insults them. Not those who have the seed that falls on good ground. Many people, when they're insulted, when they're being persecuted, they're being talked about, they cannot deal with this. This is when you have a weak immune system or weak spiritual immune system. Okay, your immune system is not strong enough. It's not strong enough to deal with insults that are going to be thrown your way for walking in the truth, for taking a stand. Understand what I'm saying? When you are being set apart, this is what comes with the territory, so to speak. Okay, and so let's get back to the bodily immune system. It says that the bodily immune system is a vast and complex network of cells that protect us from infection by pathogens. A pathogen is anything that can cause an illness. The immune system is often described in military terms and includes imaginary of violence. So think about an army. There is bloodshed that's going on. There is violence that is going on. Something or someone is getting ready to be hurt, destroyed. So when your immune system is on red alert that an invader, stranger danger is in the house, that it's going to get heat up. Or like you want to say, it's getting ready to get lit. Okay, you're going to get a fever. All of the military is getting ready to come and get prepared for battle. There's getting ready to be violence. So when you think about just our natural earthly war, think about this is the same thing that's going on in your body, because this is the way that Yah designed. Your immune system is literally your army. It is your military force within your body. Yah is just awesome. Every time I just he's just so awesome. There's just no words to just describe just how he just created us. Okay, but it says the essential function of the immune system is to distinguish self from non-self. So pay attention to that. The essential function of the immune system is to distinguish self from non-self, to distinguish that which is of itself from that which is not. Okay, and to destroy the non-self. So anything that is not like it, it is going to destroy it. Are you connecting some dots from this and translating this, transferring this to the spiritual? Okay, being able to distinguish that which is of Yah versus that which is not of Yah. Okay, and so another part of our defense system is a lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a vital part of the immune system. It is a multifaceted system that supports the body's defense team by producing the soldier. So your lymphatic system produces the soldiers. They're the ones that provide the training ground. They provide barracks in which they are stored. They transport soldiers to the various battlefronts throughout the body. So the soldiers are able to travel throughout your lymphatic system to go wherever it needs to go. The soldiers need to go to prepare for battle. If there's some type of pathogen, let's say like a cancer or something that's there, the lymphatic system is going to send it out to destroy it. Okay, and then the lymphatic system is also responsible for the cleanup crew. Okay, cleaning up after the war is over, so to speak. And so, again, The immune system, as Dr. Berg stated, is our army. It is our literal military to fight off the bad guys, which are pathogens. In the spiritual, that will be the false prophets, the false teachers. The immune system said is free from and protects us against harmful insults, and all diseases. That disease in the spiritual could be deadly doctrines, okay, that could cause us harm, okay, that may insult our Father Yah. And so when you think about the false prophets, this is it right here, and it doesn't stop here. But this is a great number of those who are deceiving our people right now in Christianity. I want to read Ephesians 5, verses 13 through 17. But all things being condemned are exposed by the light and are clearly revealed. For everything having been revealed is light. Because of this, he says, arise, sleeping ones, and rise from the dead ones, and Messiah will give you light. So notice he said, look, wake up. Those you are dead. Those you are still in this sunken place. Those you are still connected to this world and haven't unplugged yourself from the matrix. He says, wake up. And the Messiah will give you light. He will give you light. Then watch how carefully you walk. So notice in Ephesians 5, the first line of defense is mentioned is our Messiah. For you to wake up because the Messiah will give you light. Then it says, watch how carefully you walk. Not as those who are unwise, but as wise ones, redeeming the time, knowing what time it is. For those of you who are still asleep right now, if you think this is what's going on right now is about a virus, wake up, it says in verse 14. Wake up so that the Messiah can give you light. We need to be redeeming the time, knowing, it says in verse 16, that the days are evil. There is evil that is going on right now, and is the reason why we're all quarantined in our houses and can't go out. Okay? For this reason, do not be foolish, but understanding what the will of Yah is. We need to understand what the will of Yah is. What the will of Yah is. What is his will? We're going to be talking about that. So, as we go back to the immune system, because I told you we're going to be going back and forth. The first line of defense, if you look on the left, it tells you before a pathogen can enter into your body, it has to get past the first lines of defense, and that's lines with an S, okay? You think about your eyes, that's what it says, keep your hands out of your eyes and out of your nose and your mouth, okay? These are your first lines of defense. There has to be an opening for a pathogen to get in. So Yah has designed our bodies. We say you were wonderfully created. How he created us, there is, I mean, just doing this teaching alone has just given it. I just keep getting a new, fresh pair of, I don't want to say a fresh pair of eyes, but just I don't even know what to say, just a newfound respect. I just seem to just, every time I learn something more about how great Yah is, and I already know it, I just love him even more. But the first lines of defense is, you think about your eyes. Your line of defense to keep pathogens out are your tears. Okay, think about if you get something in your eye. You ever had a piece of hair or something, a dust in your eye? What do your eyes automatically do to protect you? Starts tearing up to wash it out. That's the water. That's the water. Who's the water? Isn't it our Messiah? Okay. Antibacterial enzymes. The tears have antibacterial. Did you know that? Your tears have antibacterial enzymes in them. And then you think about your mouth. Well, think about your eyes. I'm going to work my way down. We go from your eyes with the tears, and then the mucus. The mucus is also a line of defense. Mucus lines and traps dirt and microbes. Okay, you think about the saliva in your mouth. And we have the saliva in your mouth. That is also the saliva in your mouth also has antibacterial enzymes as well. The mucus that you have in your nose, you breathe in. You have hairs in your nose. Okay, you have hairs in your nose, you have mucus in your nose. Sometimes it can be irritant to us, but that mucus plays a very important part in defending you, like trying to make sure before anything gets inside of our body that there is a barrier to protect us, to do its best to try to stop it from getting in. So the mucus tries to trap it. The antibacterial enzymes in the tears to flush it out. And same thing in the saliva. Okay? You are supposed to have good gut bacteria because it actually helps weed out the bad. The skin. Your skin on your body is the first line of defense. It prevents entry into your body. You have thick and layers of skin. Okay? Thick layers of skin. Notice if you cut yourself and there's a opening in your skin, something could get and bury itself in the cut. So you have to cover it up. Why? Because your skin is the first line of defense, as well as the stomach acid that are in your stomach. The low pH kills harmful microbes. So, and then over here we have the immune system, your tonsils that are there, your thymus, your spleen, that is like collects extra, I think is it red blood cells, like stores it, bone marrow, your lymph vessels, your appendix, your lymph nodes. Now, some people say you can live without your appendix or spleen, but you're going to get, and I think it's your white blood cells and not with the spleen, not your red. But if you don't have your spleen or your appendix, you are going to be more likely, that's like you're creating an environment where pathogens can come in and take over more easily. You're going to get sick more often than someone that does still have their spleen or their appendix. Okay, so you don't want to have that go, because you won't be able to fight off a lot of things if you don't have your spleen or your appendix. So some people say, well, you don't really need this. Yes, there's certain organs we can live without, but don't ever say that it's useless or it's no big deal. It is a big deal, because we were wonderfully created and made. So he knows what he put in us, we need it. And without it, you may be able to live without it. I mean, you'll be able to live without one arm. You'll be able to live without one leg, one eye, but you can be blind and not have both eyes, but your life is going to be severely compromised. You're not going to be able to get around the same way you would in a wheelchair. You can't walk because you have no legs. You have to depend on other people. Do you understand? So it's going to be a hindrance. Ephesians 5:14 says, because of this, he says, arise, sleepy one, arise from the dead unto Messiah Yeshua. He will give you light. And so again, this all goes, this like me coming back, doing this teaching, it seems like no matter what teaching I'm doing, no matter what subject it's on, it all points back to the Messiah, as you will see when we go back to the end. And so Psalms 119, verse 105 says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. And so the Messiah, we know that he is the word. And when he came here to this earth, he did not come to give us another religion. He did not say, follow your pastor or your rabbis, follow your grandparents that, you grew up in this faith, when you were a baby and now you're 30, 40 years old and you don't have to, question anything that you've been taught, just continue on with church as usual. He said to follow me. He did not come to establish Christianity, which is a false pagan religion. He gave us his word and he said to follow me. And so why is it that the majority of believers don't believe in the Bible? This is a harsh statement that I'm making, but it's true. The majority of believers do not believe in the Bible. And it's the reason why they have no power, and don't even talk about spiritual warfare, because you cannot engage in spiritual warfare if your spiritual immune system is weak. Okay? When the immune system is at battle, you are at war. So picture you being at war and not having your spleen. Picture you being at war and not having your appendix. Picture you being at war and all your first line of defenses are down, and then you're not really taking care of yourself and your immune system is weak. What do you think a pathogen is going to do? So a war signifies that invaders have gotten past the first line or lines of defense. Okay? When your immune system is at battle and you have a fever, you are at war. Okay? You are at war. When you're at war, this signifies that invaders have gotten past the first lines of defense. Okay? And so if we transition that to the spiritual, what is a believer's first line of defense? And we're going to talk about that. And what happens when a pathogen gets past that first line of defense?
So basically, your immune system protects you against disease. So the immune system is like immigration. So if something foreign enters the body, it has to go through the airways, it has to go maybe through the digestive system, and has to get the stamp of approval from immigration. And that's what your immune system does. It's constantly scanning to see if you are a foreign entity that could cause harm or if you're part of the body. And once it tags you as a foreign thing that could threaten the body, it will automatically send in the defenses. And that's what we're going to cover next.
Okay. So just pay attention. Well, just listening to this, your brain should be coming. We've been called in 1 John 4, verses 1 through 6, we have been called as believers to test the spirit. He says, the scripture tells us, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from Yah. For many false prophets have gone out into the world, as we were just watching what Dr. Berg was saying. Once it gets past the first lines of defense, and it has to get a stamp of approval. It's like your immune system is like immigration. You trying to go over to another country, you can't just go and just willy-nilly and just walk into another country. There's things that you have to have in place. Passport, they're going to check you to make sure you're not coming over here to cause any type of habit or commit some kind of crime in their country. So there has to be a stamp of approval. So when you think about spiritually, how is it that these false prophets get past the first line of defense, which should be our Master Yeshua, who is the Word? How do they get past the first line of defense, okay, to be able to come in and amongst the body and to spread their doctrine? What has happened? We are told in 1 John 4:1, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit to see whether they are from Yah. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. When we were just watching this video with Dr. Berg, he says that your immune system, again, earlier we learned that the immune system's job is to recognize self from not self. And anything that is not of self, as Dr. Berg said, it is going to get rid of it. Do we see this happening within the body of the Messiah? Do we see this happening in the churches today? When they see a false prophet come amongst the sheep, do they get rid of the pathogen, the false prophet, the false teacher? The churches of today are inviting Kanye West to come in because they are more concerned about the music. I told you I just had a dream a couple of weeks ago where someone that I know, and I won't mention her name, but this was someone that I have been witnessing to and trying to share the truth with for years. She rejected it. She gave me the literature and everything that I gave her back, said it didn't agree with her spirit. And this person was in my dream. And I was listening to music, and this music, they were jamming. And I'm like, I got to the front. I wasn't in line, I was on the side. So it was like I was walking on the side with the people that were in line. And when we got to the front, I asked someone, I believe in the dream was some usher, whoever. And I said, what time does service start? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, why am I asking about service when I know I've left a pagan church 16 years ago, having turned back, haven't looked back, have never desired to go back. And I'm thinking, why am I asking in this dream what time service start? I knew that all I knew was they was jamming with the music, like our people in the Black church do. They have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. They don't know Yah. And so when I asked her what time the service start, this person that I've been witnessing to for years, the same person who has rejected the truth, this person came out of nowhere and said to me, do not enter in, for this is false worship. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm thinking, what does this mean? But if you want to know what this means, you check out our last teaching. At the end of the last teaching, not our State of the Body that we did last Sabbath. This was 2 weeks ago. I actually had someone who can interpret dreams, and she told me what that dream meant. But in essence, this person who I witnessed to knew. And so I'm hoping this person hears this and will repent and turn, because Yah definitely wants this person to repent, and I'll leave it at that. But again, 1 John 4:1 says that we are supposed to test the spirit to see whether they are from Yah. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. So as Dr. Berg stated, as you saw in the video, the immune system's job is to recognize self versus non-self, and anything that is not of self, it is going to get rid of it. And that's the way we're supposed to be spiritually. Matthew 7:15 says, beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. We're told in 1 Thessalonians 5:21, test all things, hold fast to what is good. Proverbs 14 and 15 says, the simple believes every word. Anything is somebody say, the simple believe everything that somebody say. It says, but the sensible man, some of your Bibles may say prudent, but the sensible man watches his steps. He's paying attention to where he's walking. He's not just listening to what and believing every wind of doctrine being tossed to and fro. That's someone who is unstable. Acts 17 and 11. We have to have the spirit as and the mindset of the Bereans. It said that the Bereans were more noble-minded or more noble character than the Thessalonians. It says, for the Bereans received the message that Paul and Silas gave them. They received it, it says, with great eagerness. They were excited about the truth that Paul and Silas. But it says they didn't just take Paul and Silas' word. To continue reading, it says that the Bereans examined the scriptures daily, every day, to see if what Paul and Silas were teaching was the truth. They didn't go around like they say in the Christian church, my pastor said, because that's all they say in the Christian church. I know because I was in it. Y'all pulled me out of it. My pastor said, instead of actually picking up the word and seeing what the word says for themselves, studying to show themselves approved unto Yah, a workman needed not being ashamed, rightly being able to divide the word of truth. You cannot rightly divide the word of truth if you're going off of what someone else is telling you, but you haven't looked in the word yourself to see if what they were saying is true or not. We're talking about building your spiritual immune system so that when the enemy comes to attack, your spiritual immune system is so tight, it can't penetrate past your first line of defense, which is the word of Yah. Revelations 2 and 2 says, I know your deeds, your labor, and your perseverance. I know that you cannot tolerate those who are evil. This is Yeshua talking. He says, and you have tested and exposed as liars. You can't tolerate those who are evil. And that you have tested and exposed as liars those who falsely claim to be apostles. You see this? This is just like your immune system, like we just got finished looking at in the video with Dr. Bird. When the immune system does not see, if it sees something that has invaded and it is not like self, okay, we have been called to be set apart, okay? Yah is not for mixing. He says that each shall be with his own kind. We're not supposed to be mixing the seeds, mixing the fruits. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mixing the vegetables, mixing animals. He says that you have tested and have exposed as liars those who claim to be apostles, those who claim that they're members of the body, but they're really not. They claim to be a servant. That bodily immune system is going to recognize anything that is not like self. Yah said in the beginning that we were created in his image and in his image he created him. We were created in his image, in his likeness. Yeshua is in the likeness of the Father. They are one. Their desire is for us to be one with them. But we have to be holy as he is holy. We have to be pure as he is pure. We can't come and we're our sinful self talking about, I want to slide into the kingdom. Like the man, the parable, when the wedding was going on and there was someone that had on the wrong wedding garments. Was not like, this was someone who was not in the image of our Messiah. And he was recognized as an intruder. What did Yeshua say? The parable of the fig tree. This fig tree appearing to be like the other trees, but it really wasn't. And it was full of leaves. And upon closer look, Yeshua said, wait a minute. Oh no. You're getting ready to be removed. You will never be able to grow here again. Do you understand? Many people can hide and pretend for a while that they're believers. You know how many people in the past 5 years that I was close to that now have gone all off into Egyptology, gone off into mysticism, gone off, and now they don't believe in the Messiah. They don't believe in the virgin birth. They're speaking against the Messiah, and they don't believe in the New Testament. I mean, we are witnessing the great falling away from, and this has to happen. He says they went out from us because they were never of us, and it was made manifest. They left us so that it could be made manifest, and they were never of us to begin with. That's why they left, because if he says that they were of us, they would have indeed remained with us. So we're going to continue, keep going back and forth, and he's giving you more information on the bodily immune system, and then spiritually, I'm comparing.
There are 3 main barriers for the immune system. You have the skin. So you have all these friendly bacteria on your skin that actually help protect you against foreign invaders. You also have a fat layer that protects you, and you have certain acids that protect you on the skin. Then you have the mucus lining in your gut, through the airways, through the sinuses, that also capture and engulf foreign particles or microbes. Inflammation is another barrier that your body puts up to protect itself. The main cells in your immune system are the white blood cells, compared to the red blood cells that have a different function. You also have, in addition to white blood cells, you have friendly bacteria that help you as well. And the name of the friendly bacteria collectively is called the microbiome or flora. And those microbes help you in many ways, from absorption of nutrients to recycling of bile to immune defenses. Just one of the things they do as a strategy is they'll make it so there's just not enough space for a pathogen to live, and they will make it so there's not enough food for that pathogen to live. So let's talk about the defenses of your immune system, the white blood cells. It makes acid to dissolve and kill microbes and pathogens. It will secrete poison to kill off these microbes. It releases free radicals. It will make hydrogen peroxide. You've probably seen that before, where you take hydrogen peroxide and you put it on an open cut. It just dissolves. It bubbles up and just kills off the microbes through oxidation. Our white blood cells actually make enzymes to help break down and dissolve microbes. Now, I already mentioned this one. Our microbes compete for food or space, but the white blood cells generate mucus and inflammation. And so these pathogens get caught up in this mucus web, and they can't really do anything else. It's like quicksand. Also, our immune system has a memory, everything that's happening. So everything's in a database, and it can remember. Like, so way down the road, when there's a microbe that actually comes back in our body, and our immune system actually tags it because it has a memory of that, and it can destroy it. So it actually learns over time by being exposed to these pathogens. That's called building up your immune system. And this is why, as a child, it's not very healthy to keep a child just so utterly sterile that they're never exposed or they're never sick. It's a natural part of building the immune system.
Okay, so just think about what Dr. Berg just got finished saying as far as being exposed. Okay. How will we ever grow in Yah if we were never exposed to wickedness? How would he know who really loves him, who would really serve him if it was just good? He did that already with Adam and Eve. He did that. Now we have to prove that we are worthy to being in the kingdom. We're not just getting ready to just slide into the kingdom and being a part of the paradise that he has planned just because we say we love him. Oh, look, no, prove it. Everyone, he says, must be salted by fire. You must be tried and tested and proven. 1 Peter 1:6 says, in this you greatly rejoice, even though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been put to grief. You have been put to grief. You have grieved. You have been allowed to suffer various trials. And he says their purpose is to prove that your faith is genuine. He needs to know that your faith is genuine. You say you believe him, you have faith in him, prove it. Prove it. Okay? Your faith alone is without works. He said faith without works is dead. You can't just say, I believe, or I'm a believer in him. I believe in the Messiah. I believe in Yah. I believe in his word. I believe the Bible's authoritative word. Prove it then. If I'm a servant of Yah, I love him. Prove it. He says, if you love him, you keep his commandments. Period. A lot of people don't want to, they want to make excuses. Well, faith, you say we by faith. Yes. Oh, grace. Yes. Well, let's talk about grace. Grace is the time period, the temporary time period that he allows you to be blessed with to get yourselves together. Grace is not a license to continue in sin all the way up until your deathbed and think you get ready to do the deathbed prayer, or like what you call the thief that was on the tree and wait and confess at them. That no, don't even try that. Don't even try it. He says, and so your faith, which is much more precious than gold, he says, must also be tested. He says, Yah says that your faith must be tested so that it may endure. He needs to know that you don't have temporary faith, or like they said, jail salvation. You want to be saved because you're going to jail, and then when you get out of jail, then you go right back to doing what you was doing before. Now, I need to know that this is sustained. So when you get out of jail, what happens? They release you back into society, but you are on probation for a specific amount of time. And you have to prove to the judge, okay, you're on probation for 8 years, that you can be trusted. That you say that you have been redeemed and revived, and you are ready to go back and be a productive citizen. You have to prove it. The judge is not going to just release you and say, oh, great, have a great time. No. You may be released to come back amongst the world, but you have to prove to this judge that you are worthy of him taking you off probation. You understand what I'm saying? And so Yah says the purpose of your faith, or the purpose of you suffering and having grief and going through various trials, being tested, is to prove that your faith is genuine, that it's real, that you're not being a fake, that you're not being a hypocrite, that you don't have jailhouse salvation. Do you understand what I'm saying? He says even gold, which can be destroyed, is tested by fire. Even gold, he says, is tested by fire. And so your faith, which is much more precious than gold, must also be tested so that it may endure. Then you will receive praise and glory and honor on the day when Yeshua, Messiah, is revealed. And so again, everyone will be salted with fire. Yah even said in Judges 2:21 and 22, he said, I also from now on will not drive out any from before you. So he told Israel, I'm not going to do like I was before when you cry out to me and go deliver the other nations from you. He said, I'm not going to do that before like I did that the nations that Joshua left when he died. He said, I'm not going to remove those nations anymore. I'm going to leave these wicked nations around you. You're going to be right in the midst of them so that I can test Israel to see whether Israel will obey my way or not. I'm going to test you through these wicked people. I'm going to lead the people who worship in their pagan gods and who are idolaters and who are necromancers and speak to the dead and I'm mediums. I'm going to leave all of these people here. I'm going to leave Kanye West and I'm going to leave Beyonce's. I'm going to leave Jay-Z's and Snoop Dogg's and Oprah's and Tyler Perry's. I'm going to leave all of these wicked people, Rihanna's, Lil Wayne. I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm gonna leave them here so that I can test Israel, the so-called African American. I can test you and everybody else who claiming that's not Israel. If you're a believer and you have accepted the Messiah, Yeshua, I'm gonna leave these wicked people amongst you to see if you're gonna obey me. They're gonna be the ones that's gonna test you. Many people have already failed the test. Talking about Kanye West church is lit. Yeah, it's lit all right. You wait to see how lit it is on the day of judgment. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So Yah said, I'm not going to remove these nations anymore. I'm not going to remove trials and tribulations from you. He says, you must suffer much tribulation to enter into the kingdom. Everyone must be salted by fire to prove if your faith is genuine. Do you have shaky faith? When fear comes in, when you're afraid, do you waver on your faith? Do you compromise on your faith? That's not true faith. And so let's talk about the Yah particle for a moment. Let's talk about the Yah particle. When you think about a particle is it's a seed. A particle is a seed, a beginning source. It's an embryo. Okay, and so when you think about an embryo or a seed, that alludes to the fact or alludes to one being a child or a son of, okay, Yah. It alludes to the fact that if you're a son, if you're a seed, anything that is a seed is a replica of the image or of the true source, if you're understanding what I'm saying. And so as a child of Yah, we have been commissioned to do two things. We have been told that we are to fear Yah and to keep his commandments. Ecclesiastes 12:13. We've been commissioned with two things, to fear Yah and to keep his commandments. He said, for this is the whole duty of man. That's your whole duty, the whole purpose why you here, to fear Yah and to keep his commandments. That's it. He don't have to give no explanations. Leviticus 19:2 says, give the following instructions to the entire community of Israel. You must be pure because I, Yah, your Elohim, your Abba, am pure. Period. Be ye holy because I am holy. So how do we fight? How do we fight? The Father Yah took me immediately to Ephesians 6. And we're going to break down verses 10 through 17. For the rest, my brothers, be made powerful in our master and in the might of his strength. So we are powerful in the might of Yeshua's strength, not our own strength. We're not powerful and mighty in our own strength. We are powerful and are made mighty in the strength of Yeshua, who is our master. Put on the whole armor of Yah for you to be able to stand against the strategies of the devil. So you think about strategies. These are tactics that he will use to get past your first lines of defense, just like pathogens. They get past your first line of defense, your skin, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but with principalities and with those in authority and with the possessors of this dark world and with the evil spirits that are beneath heaven. So he says that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. So when you think about wrestling, what does that entail when you're wrestling? This entails that there's some kind of contention that's going on. And it says that we are not wrestling against flesh and blood. So this is not the people, or I'm not even gonna call them people. This is spiritual. Ephesians 6 is telling the believers in Yah that this is a spiritual battle. So in order to be able to prevail in a spiritual battle, you can have your physical immune system built up, but if you don't have your spiritual immune system built up, you will not prevail. Because this battle is not a battle that you can win with knives and guns, and you can't go work out and bench press against no demons, because it is not against that which is flesh and blood. We're working against principalities, those who are in authority, like those who are in our government, okay? And with the possessors of this dark world, and with the evil spirits that are beneath the heavens. See, they already told you they're here on the earth. So it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So to wrestle means that there's a struggle physically and or mentally with something, okay? It also means that you're contending. It is a fight. So if you're wrestling, and he says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, that means that we are not struggling against something that is flesh and blood. We're not fighting. We're not having a scuffle. This is a battle. This is a combat. This means you are at war. Look at this. You're fighting. This is a fight. This is a spiritual fight. But you don't come to a spiritual battle with guns and knives. You're not gonna win. That's completely ineffective. Ephesians 6:13 is going to tell you, this entire chapter is telling you what we need to do. He says, because of this fact, meaning because of the fact that you're not fighting and your war and your battle is not against that which is of flesh and blood, that means your bodily immune system can be built up. You can be buffed. You can do karate. You can do whatever. That's not going to work. He says, because of this fact, because you know you are dealing with wickedness in high places of authority, because of this, you must take up the whole armor of Yah, that you may be able to resist the evil one. And being prepared, you shall prevail. Are you looking at this? He says, being prepared. Preparation means that there is some type of development and some type of growth that is going on. When you're being prepared, what happens when you're preparing for a test? You're studying, right? You're preparing for an exam. You're studying, you're researching, okay? You're getting yourself ready. He says you will not win this if you are not prepared. If you are not prepared, that the thing is says that being prepared, you shall prevail. So if you're not preparing, you will not prevail. Preparation also means being educated. Education, knowledge of the word of Yah. Also, qualification, meaning you are qualified. You don't just go to war. You know how much time and training they put into for those soldiers for war? Preparation is also rehearsal. You're rehearsing right now by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yah right now. You're preparing yourself. If you're doing that, you're preparing yourself for this spiritual battle so that you may prevail over the enemy. Studying to show yourself approved unto Yah. Okay? Being alert, meaning you're watchful. You are aware, redeeming of the time, knowing that the days are evil. Preparation means that you are also anticipating. There's some type of anticipation that's going on because we are waiting for the return of our Messiah. Okay? You are anticipating a war. Why? because we know that the devil has come down to earth with rage, and he is going after the woman with child and her seed, those who keep the commandments of Yah and who have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. So I'm anticipating it because I know it's coming. So I got to get prepared, and I can't get prepared if I have laid down my first line of defense, or if I'm weak and I don't know how to use my first line of defense. I was telling someone the other day about knowing how to activate the word of Yah through prayer. Safeguard. To be prepared means that you are safeguarding yourself. You're making sure that your boundaries, the battleground, your first line of defense, they're stocked up, everything is working the way that it should. You're putting your house in order. If you are putting your house in order, you are beginning to prepare for the battle, because you know that if there's any accursed thing, or if you have people that's in your midst that's accursed and not walking right, you're allowing spirits in your house, and that's not going to work when you're trying to go before the Father, because there's too much chaos going on. So again, Ephesians 6 is telling us exactly how to build up our spiritual immune system. And again, I'm not negating that you have to build your physical immune system up, but if you're preparing for the coronavirus, you're not preparing for the return of our Messiah, you're not preparing for salvation, you're not preparing for the kingdom, and you're calling yourself a believer, but your spiritual immune system is weak, but you buff, something is wrong, because you're spending more time preparing for the world and preparing for that of the flesh, that which is going to perish, versus that which is everlasting. Then stand firm, having girded your loins about with truth. So when you have your loins girded about with truth, your loins is your stance. That's your border, your boundary. You think about, you got your boundaries on lock where nothing can get in, because your stance is, me and my household, we will serve the Most High Yah. Your stance is truth. Yeshua is truth. The truth is the word. That is your boundary. That's your covering. Your whole boundary is covered with truth. So you picture, you got truth all the way around you. Your first line of defense is the word, who is the Messiah, Yeshua. Having put on the breastplate of righteousness. I highlighted certain things because I wanted to make sure that I brought these things out, not just read Ephesians 6, but actually break this down. The breastplate is what is attached to the front of the chest. So you think about police officers, they have on a bulletproof vest, so that if something tries to shoot at or harm or injure the front of the chest, it will not penetrate past that vest. Are you understand what I'm saying? The breastplate is attached to the front of the chest, and it prevents going backwards. So it prevents you from going backwards. Do you see this? The breastplate prevents the rider from going backwards. Because if any person returns back to his vomit, you're not worthy. You put your hand to the plow to look back. Remember, Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. So it keeps you from going backwards, from being a backslider. When you have put on the breastplate of righteousness. So righteousness, his righteousness, which is his word, should be your breastplate that you have attached to the front of your chest, that is going to prevent you. His righteousness which is his word. If you turn from your wickedness to do righteousness, he will not remember any wickedness you have done. That prevent his, if you continue walking in his righteousness, which is his word, you will not go backwards. That's what's protecting your chest. And defending your feet with the preparation of the good news of peace. When you are defending something, you are protecting something. You are guarding something. You are fighting for something. You are defending your feet, protecting your feet. Your feet is what you do. It is how you walk. He says that we are to walk circumspectly. We are to, like a barb, like you walking with a whole bunch of traps set on the ground and you skipping and hopping in between each one to make sure that you don't get your pinky toe hooked up on one of them. You walking on eggshells. You are watching where you walk. Do you understand? And I never noticed that I do this, but I watch where I walk when I'm walking. I notice that when I walk, you know, some people just walk and they do looking up at the sky, they ain't paying attention to a care in the world. I'm looking at the ground, making sure I ain't stepping in no dog poop, making sure I'm not stepping in something like saliva, something like some people spit on the ground. I notice that about myself, that when I'm walking, I'm very observant of my path and where I'm walking. And I'm not just walking and looking straight ahead, but I'm watching where I'm walking. Like there's times I was like, oh, it's glass over here. I'm glad I didn't step on that, or I'm glad I didn't. I watch where I walk. How many of you listen, actually, when you walk and you actually watch? This is how we're supposed to be in this life, in this walk, in this journey to salvation. We're supposed to be watching where we walk, where the places we go. Not just going anywhere, not just participating in anything. And so we are defending and protecting where we walk with the preparation of the good news of peace. But again, preparation is being ready, staying ready. Okay? Being knowledgeable, because preparation is also being knowledgeable about the good news. We are commissioned to speak the good news. Okay? And it says above all. Notice it says above all, above everything that we've talked about. Verse 16 says, taking up the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the flaming darts of the evil one. You'll be able to annihilate or to destroy everything that the Satan's throw at you. If you take up the shield of faith, a shield is something that guards and protects. A shield is something that covers you. What is your faith? What do you believe? Are you say you're a believer and you're a follower of the Messiah, yet you voted for same-sex marriage? Do you think that it's okay for a woman to have the right to choose? Because if you do, though, that's your faith is not the faith of our Messiah, because they would never support that wickedness. Do you understand what I'm saying? What you support and what you endorse and even what you like on social media and who you follow is a testament of your faith. Your faith is on trial right now. Did you know that there is a court? We're already building up the witnesses for or against us right now. Everything you say and do is being recorded. And it will be used in the heavenly courts on the day of judgment, when it's your time to go forth. So your faith is what you do. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but your faith is what you actually do. What do you support? What do you like? What do you desire? There's more people that's calling themselves believers and so-called Christians are more as Satanists and atheists than the people who are actual Satanists and atheists. And that's real, because most believers don't even believe in the Bible that they say that they have in their home, holding up as a coaster for their favorite drink. Verse 17, also put on the helmet of salvation and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yah. Put on the helmet. Are you looking at this? Put on the helmet of salvation. The helmet is your mind. The helmet is your mind. Put on the helmet of salvation and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yah. So the helmet is the mind. Are you really looking at this? I want you to really look at this and really meditate on this for a moment. The helmet of salvation is your mind. Your mind controls everything you do. That's where your brain is housed. It's the heart. Your mind is your heart. Whatever is in your heart is what you will do. And then take up the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yah. The sword of the Spirit is the word of Yah. The sword, we fight in the spiritual with the word of Yah. We don't fight unclean spirits with a butter knife or a bat. We use the word of Yah. That's why the enemy doesn't want you to have a prayer life and wants you fasting, because he knows fasting and prayer, you get ready to start activating the word of Yah. That's how you begin to change things that's going on in the spiritual. And whatever happens in the physical is something that has already manifested in the spiritual. And through all prayer and petition, praying at all times in the Spirit. And with this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all of Yah's people. So we have been commanded to be praying at all times in the Spirit, being alert, and to continue to pray for all of Yah's people. This is what we have to all be doing. Praying for Yah's people and going constantly before Yah in prayer and petition. Praying at all times. And especially for the people of Yah. Because we need it.
Then we get to something called the phagocyte. That's part of our immune system. The phagocytes are cells that eat things. They devour microbes. And they have a ravenous appetite for not just microbes and viruses and bacteria and yeast and fungus, but they will also eat up dead cells and debris. They are the garbage disposal for things that we don't want in our body. Just 1 liter of blood has 6 billion of these guys. Now, an interesting thing about phagocytes is that they're stimulated by acid. And I think this is why, this is just my guess, why when people take a lot of synthetic vitamin C, ascorbic acid, certain people get results, even with synthetic vitamin C, simply because of the acid. I would recommend just consuming apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar has been known to acidify the body and speed up phagocytosis, just like any acid. So if you have a choice, I would recommend the food-based vitamin C, not the synthetic, but use apple cider vinegar to actually speed up phagocytosis. And another mechanism that I want to mention that I didn't write down and involves certain white blood cells. If certain white blood cells are infected by a pathogen, we have this built-in mechanism that if the cell is invaded, it goes through something called apoptosis, where it kills itself off for the benefit of the entire body, because if they let the microbes leach into their DNA and start reproducing, then they become the copy machine that just makes the virus over and over and over. Now, on the flip side, the bad guys, the pathogens, also have their defenses as well. They have the ability to block vitamin D, and they do it through the vitamin D receptor, because somehow they know that vitamin D is so essential for the control of your immune system that if they can block it, they lower the resistance to invading the cells so they can take it over. The other thing that these sneaky little pathogens do is they can mimic your body tissue so you're not recognized by the immune system. They're very sneaky that way. They can also hide in calcium little igloos, little houses. And this is why antibiotics are not effective against something called biofilm. And that's a whole different topic.
Okay, so he's giving us some real knowledge here. Okay, it's things that I hadn't even known about the immune system. And I say all praises be to Yah. And so 1 Corinthians 5:6 says, your glorying is not good. Do you not know that a little bit of leaven leavens the whole lump? Do you know that a little bit of leaven leavens the whole lump? Dr. Berg was talking about the cell. If a cell was invaded by a pathogen, he said that it will, the immune system of that cell that is of self will kill itself off, so that the pathogen that seeks to kill and destroy will not be able to mimic and then reproduce more of itself. Are you understand what I'm saying? And so you ever now watching this video, listening to that one piece that I just presented, kind of made me think of kind of like a lot of them over in the Middle East, how a lot of them will strap themselves to a bomb and kill themselves off for the cause. Okay, you know, he says that a little bit of leaven leavens the whole lump. So you think about that, and I've used this example a billion times over all these 200 and some teachers that we've done. But if you have a rotten apple in the bunch and you do not remove it, by the end of the week, more apples have been infected. Now just about the whole batch of apples are infected because they have been invaded by the one. And so again, the Messiah said that a little bit of leaven leavens the whole lump. So that means if you see one end that is not right, if there's a false prophet, it must be removed. The spiritual immune system must be strong enough. It must recognize something that is not like itself, because we are supposed to be with like-minded people. We're not supposed to be mixing in with people of the world, but yet the Christian church have allowed people in the world to come in, and they're doing songs with Kanye West and doing songs with Snoop Dogg. And I'm like, are you kidding me? These people have sunk into a whole new low. I lost all respect for Fred Hammond when I found out he was doing a song, I believe, with Snoop. It was Snoop Dogg, some wretched artist, and he talking about, well, we can reach the world and by going. No, you're not going and ministering the word of Yah. Yah did not tell you to go and do no collabo with Snoop Dogg. He is not trying to convert. Okay, he's converting you. What's happening is the Christian church is being converted by the world. The world is still more, as a matter of fact, the world is more wicked now than it was a long time ago. And the Christianity, they can't seem to recognize pathogens, invaders when they come in. This is the reason why they're so weak. The Christian church is weak. And I'm not saying this, if anybody's listening to it, I'm not talking about the word of Yah. I'm talking about that religion. I came out of it, so I can speak on it. The Father pulled me out of it because I was not learning anything. All I learned how to do in Christianity was to compromise. Okay? That's what I learned. I had some good foundation, but it wasn't enough. I would never be prepared. I would never be able to teach and have the understanding and knowledge that I have now if I had not come out. And so again, a little bit of leaven leavens a whole lump. Yeshua said that he is going to remove the wheat from the tares, but he allows the wheat and the tares oftentimes to grow up together because they're almost look identical. The tares almost look identical. On the left, that is the wheat. On the right, that's the tares. But as the wheat becomes fully ripe, it has a tan, a light tan color. You can see the difference. But in the beginning stages of its growth, Yeshua said that he just was not going to pull the wheat up with the tares because unless he destroyed both of them. So there are many people that are hiding in the church, hiding amongst believers, hiding amongst those who call themselves Israel. They got their tassels on, they got their beards, they got their hair wrapped, they singing Kumbaya, got their dreads, keeping feast days and the Sabbath. Yet they're still fornicating, yet they're still secretly on the low, eating pork, celebrating holidays, still won't give up birthdays, all of that. Period. The wheat will grow up looking like a tare, or the tares, shall I say, the tares will grow up looking like a wheat until finally, when it's harvest time, Yeshua is going to be the one that will separate the two. Because when it gets to full maturation, you'll be able to tell. He says, by their works, you will know them. You know a tree by the fruit that it bears. A wicked tree does not produce good fruit, and good fruit does not, a good tree does not produce wicked fruit. So something else I want to bring out that Dr. Berg brought out in his teaching that he did on the immune system. He talked about pathogens have their own defense system. So just like your immune system has its defense system, pathogens have their own defense system, so that when they do get into your body and they do get past the first line of defense, they're able to set up their defense to block your immune system from destroying it and getting rid of it. And one way Dr. Berg said that is being done is by the pathogens blocking the vitamin D receptors. So I consider pathogens, if we were going to speak about the spiritual immune system, the pathogens will be equated to the false prophets, okay? And they block the vitamin D receptors. Now, Dr. Berg also said that the pathogens, they know that vitamin D is so essential. And so if they can block vitamin D, okay, if they can block the receptors that receive the vitamin D, then he said that the pathogens will lower your resistance. Your resistance to fight them off will be lower, and it'll be easier for these pathogens to take over. Okay, so let's think about that for a moment. Okay, let's think about that for a moment. Okay, the pathogens block vitamin D. Where do we get what is our primary source of vitamin D? Where does the primary source of vitamin D come from? Because it's very hard to get it in foods and minerals. But our primary source of vitamin D comes from the sun. The sun. Who is the light? Who is the light? Because remember, this coronavirus, it said that it is resistant to heat. I mean, it is not resistant to heat. So that means it cannot deal with the sun. The heat is what kills it. It cannot deal with heat over 90, I think it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It cannot deal with it. Heat is what kills it. It is not resistant to the sun. Who is the son of Yah? Who is the light? Is it not our master Yeshua? So it's no coincidence, because I believe that this is Yah's judgment with this COVID-19, because 10 is a full manifestation of anything scripturally. And if this is his work that is being done, and we know his four-sword judgments are going on in the earth, but this virus cannot deal with the heat. It cannot withstand the sun. Who can withstand the sun? The Son of Yah, who has been given all power. Is he not the word of Yah? Isn't Yeshua not the word of Yah? So when we think about it, Dr. Burke said that these pathogens, once they invade the cell, they get past your first line of defense, they invade your body, the first thing that they do is try to block your vitamin D receptor. Well, vitamin D is where is the primarily you get from the sun. This is the reason why you see more people that's in the cold climates. Like we, so for African Americans, we come from Israel. We come from the hot climate. We getting on. If we were being a warmer climate, we wouldn't even be getting sick like we do not if we were in the sun. Like we're supposed to be in a warm climated place, not where it's cold. Not where it's cold. So the pathogens block the vitamin D receptors because they know that vitamin D is essential. Is not the sun essential? Is not Yeshua essential? Is he not essential for life? And the pathogen, Dr. Burke said that the pathogens, if they can block your vitamin D receptors, they will do their best to do it, because they know that if they can block it, they will lower your resistance to fight them off. So you think about people who are coming with the false doctrine, speaking against our Messiah, speaking against Yeshua, saying that he is not the Son of Yah, saying that he was not born of a virgin, speaking blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh. I don't believe, when people tell me I don't believe in the New Testament no more. When he said, I come in the volume of the book. I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the Aleph and the Tav. I'm the beginning and the end. I come in the totality of this book. Are you understanding what I'm saying? They know vitamin D is essential. Translating this to the spiritual, these false prophets and these false teachers come and teaching heresy know that Yeshua is the way, he is the truth, he is the light. They know that no man comes to the Father but through him. So they can get you to blaspheme him, they can get you to speak against him, they can get you to not believe in him as he spoke. Yeshua told me years ago, the Father Yah told me years ago, through a false prophet, to get away from these men. He said, for I have revealed the road of life to you. I've revealed him to you already. He says, as you have received and heard and believed in Yeshua, so must you continue in it. Then he said, get away from them, for I have revealed the road of life to you. I've already revealed it. People who are speaking these things, they're speaking them because they are perishing. You, without the sun, you die. Without the sun, the earth would not be able to sustain life. The sun is the main source of energy for the earth, just like Yeshua is for us. The sun provides light and heat. It's necessary for plants to carry out photosynthesis. The plants make our oxygen. Do you understand that? Without plants, we would die. But yet they study cutting all the trees down. And then wonder why our quality of life, breath, is horrible. Something else that Dr. Berg said in the last part of the video, where he said that these pathogens mimic your bodily tissue. I don't know if you heard that. He said that these pathogens, once they get in and get past your first line of defense, they mimic the bodily tissues, aka they mimic being a disciple or member of the body of our Messiah. Because now I told you I'm switching and going back and forth, comparing. Just like the pathogen, once it gets past your first line of defense, which is the word, and they block your vitamin D, which is the sun, S-U-N, who is also the son of Yah, S-O-N, Yeshua. Once they can get you to turn away from the true faith of Yeshua and the belief and from what he taught when he walked this earth, they can get you to believe a different good news and a cursed good news. They can get you to believe against the virgin birth of our Messiah. They can get you to do not believe in the New Testament. They can get you to not believe in the New Testament or the renewed covenant. They can get you to believe all kinds of lies about our Messiah, Yeshua. Once they block him, they can mimic being a member or of the body of the Messiah. They can mimic being a disciple. Then once they mimic, just like this wolf, he's amongst the body. Once a pathogen invades your bodily immune system, Dr. Berg said they block vitamin D. Once they block vitamin D, you're not fighting anymore. Your ability to be resistant to it is going to be lowered because it says they hide in your body's tissues, remaining undetected, just like this wolf, a wolf in sheep clothing. So when they hide, they're not recognized by the body's immune system. This is what you see going on in the churches of today and amongst the congregations in Israel. You think of somebody shaloming and caning and keeping feast and Sabbath because speak Hebrew, they can't cover. You think, oh, they are really righteous. Oh, they really holy just because they got their hair wrapped. Because they speak fluent Hebrew, because they wearing tassels, because they got their beard. You think, oh, they're holy, they're set apart. Yah says he does not judge the way men do. He does not look at the outward appearance, but he looks at the heart. Many of you can be blind as long as they shalom and Canaan, they got a beard, tassels. They can be fornicating. They can be committing adultery. They can be teaching you that sex is marriage. They teaching all kind of heresy. They can teach against the virgin birth of Messiah. They can teach anything they want. But because you think they are a great teacher, because you think they got a following or a congregation, because you think they may be knowledgeable in some things, the enemy is not going to come with a pitchfork and a horns. He's going to come looking exactly how you want him to look. He's going to sound how you want him to sound. He's going to look desirable. Oh, you don't want to suffer? I got something for you. I got a pastor for you that's not going to teach on suffering. He's going to tell you that Jesus paid it all. Are you listening? These pathogens are going to be just like this wolf that you're looking at right here, mimicking bodily tissue, as Dr. Bird said. That's what the pathogens do once they get past the first line of defense, which is the word. So if you weaken the word and you don't know the word, you wouldn't recognize a wolf in sheep clothing, even if he tap you on the shoulder and say, I'm a wolf in sheep clothing. You're going to be like, oh, no, you not, because you got on the costume. Nope, you holy. You sitting there, oh, grandmother, what big teeth you have? Just like Little Red Robin Hood. Oh, grandmother, what big feet you have? Not knowing that it's the wolf until you have been eaten and devoured. It's too late. You open up the door, even though you saw the hoofs when you look down at his feet. Oh, he got on grandma got on a bonnet on her head and a scarf, or around draped around her shoulders. You looking at the outfit. Second Peter 2:11 says, now there were also false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. They will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the master who brought them, bringing swift destruction on themselves. And so again, there are going to be false prophets that are going to be among the people. They're going to be false teachers, he says, among you. And they're not gonna bring it in openly. Look what the scripture said. They're gonna secretly do it. They're gonna be real discreet. They're gonna be teaching on the straight and narrow 4 or 5 years. Remember, Satan is very patient. And then they're gonna slide in that he wasn't born of a virgin. Oh, the New Testament is false. Oh, sex is marriage. Oh, the law is done away with. They slide it in. But if your immune system is down and it's weak, you allow it right on in. You come on in. You can't recognize that the immune system primary function is to recognize self from non-self. But again, as Dr. Berg stated in the video, that the pathogens mimic bodily tissue. Okay, they will mimic, looking like they're a member of the body of the Messiah, mimicking like they're disciples or servants of Yah. Okay, so that those of the body can't recognize them. So once they mimic, so that's why he said earlier that the cell, if it's invaded by a pathogen, will kill it. The cell will kill itself in defense to protect the rest of the body. Look how powerful Yah made us. We were fearfully, he said, and wonderfully made. By this, the children of Yah are distinguished from the children of the devil. Anyone who does not practice righteousness is not of Yah, nor is anyone who does not love his brother. 1 John 3:10. So again, how will you recognize a pathogen? If they do not practice righteousness, they are not of Yah. This is how he said that you will be able to distinguish the children of Yah from the children of the devil. And if you don't love your brother as yourself, you can't love your brother and you're envious and jealous of your brother. You can't love your brother and you see them walking in sin and you don't say anything to them. He says, warn them, or that blood gonna be on your hands. Israel, we got the laws, statutes, and commandments down pat, but we don't have the love part. We see our brothers and sisters have a need and not one of us will reach out to even help them. And I want to say something so bad, but I'm not going to. But it is very grieving how I see the body, how we are with one another, and how we see a brother or a sister needing help. And love, charity is love. Caring about others more than yourself is love. And we don't even move a finger. I'm gonna pray for you. The person need help. You are the answer prayer. He says, if your brother or sister have a need, don't tell me I'm gonna send them away with prayer. Give them the bread that they need. How can you say you got the love of Yah and you can look past your brother or sister who has a need and you ain't trying to help them? So we're close to the end now. How do we build up our spiritual immune system? How do we build up this spiritual immune system? First thing we do is we need to have a prayer life. We need to have a space where you go to, where you meet with Yah. Your special place, a secret place, where it's just you and Yah, where it's an intimate setting and it's just you. You have to have a prayer life. If your prayer life is weak, so will be your spiritual immune system, because the word is, and prayer is what activates the word of Yah, and the enemy knows this, and also fasting. If you can't fast, you can't afflict yourself, you're missing out. You're not gonna be strengthened. Because the first thing Satan did when Yeshua finished into his fast, he came to tempt him. Reading and studying the word of Yah on a daily basis, on a continuous basis, that you're reading and studying his word. This is how you build up your spiritual immune system. And then begin making sure that you obeying the word you reading, because you are just like a man who look at himself in the mirror, and then when you walk away, you forget the manner of man you were. You have to, the word of Yah should be the mirror. It should be the reflection of how you should be living your life. So I don't love and support the things that Yah hates and things that he says is an abomination and is sin. You can't say I love Yah, but I support homosexuality. I support same-sex marriage. I support abortion. I'm still fornicating. You can't. He says you will love what he loves and hate what he hates. Do I go around hating people? No. But I hate the act. I hate sin. I detest sin. I abhor sin. Pride is the number one reason why man will not repent. That's the reason why his four-sword judgments is on the earth right now. So I just pray, Yah, that even in his wrath and in his judgment, that he will show mercy unto his people during his time. But let his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Because the land is vomiting the people out right now. Because he's fed up and he's sick of the wickedness that's going on right now. He's sick of it. Remaining faithful and enduring to the end. We must remain faithful. Our faith cannot be fluid. One day you serving him, the next day you not. One day you trusting him, the next day you not. Let your hearts not fail. Stop compromising. You can't be double-minded and you can't be lukewarm. He said, I'm going to vomit you out of my mouth. He said, if you either be hot, let your hot be hot, or if you was cold, be cold. But if you are lukewarm, if you straddling the fence, think you plan to say, I'm going to spew you out my mouth. He wants you on fire for him. He wants you to be bold. He does not want you walking in fear and allowing fear to dictate what you do. Because we are coming upon times, and I was telling Prina and telling some of the other sisters, we are coming upon these times now that your faith is getting ready to be tested like never before. We've been talking about it, and it all sounds cute and dandy. The time is now. The time is now where your faith is really getting ready to be tested. What are you going to do when they tell you got to take the mark? Everybody tell, oh, I'm not going to take. We get ready to find out. They already started with the small things. I refuse to take the thing at my job. I'm the only one that's signing in because I refuse. I was willing to get fired if I couldn't do that because I wasn't going to do it. It did not agree with my spirit. So we have to be in these end times. We cannot allow fear. You cannot allow your heart to fail. We cannot be willing to compromise and then say, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. We have to begin to trust Yah. We have to begin to believe what his words say. And the only way you show that you believe it is you stand on it in the face of adversity. When it looks like it's not, help is not coming. And if it doesn't come, you still stand and say, Yah giveth, he taketh away. Blessed be the name of Yah. Yah is building up the fruits of the spirit, and he doesn't want no punks. This walk ain't for no punks. And I said this last week, this walk is not for no punks. This walk is for the bold. And if you Judah, we are bold. We are called to be bold, to not walk in fear, to stand, to not waver, to not compromise. And we need to be praying that we get to that point if we're not there, because we all have work to do. All of us have work to do, but we must remain faithful. A lot of people are going to turn away from this faith. They're going to be like, oh, weren't you the one that was sure? No, that wasn't me. I wasn't with him. No, that wasn't me. I don't know him. He said before the clock struck 12, you're going to deny me 3 times. Are you going to deny him? Because we are headed towards the monetary beast system, where if you don't do it, you ain't going to be able to buy or sell. Your family ain't going to be able to eat. And if you don't bow down to this beast system, you're going to be beheaded. They already got the guillotine here. That act was signed a long time ago. What you going to do? What you made of? Because it's getting ready to be tested. We're getting ready to go through what the disciples had to go through when they were being stoned to death, when they were being persecuted for trying to worship on the Sabbath and to keep the commandments. We told you not to speak in that name Yeshua again. They were getting jailed. We getting ready to see all kind of miracles. Like, it's getting ready to go down. All the stuff we've been reading about, it's here. The time is now. It's here. We must endure to the end to be saved. Your faith must be proven genuine, as we learned earlier. Yeah, it has to be tested to see if it's genuine. You must be put in the fire. He's not going to remove them. He's not getting ready to remove the beast from you, the man, and say he ain't getting ready to remove them. He's going to allow him to come and to be full and give him temporary full control, just so he can see who's going to buckle, whose faith is real, who's willing to die for his name's sake. If that's what it comes down to, he said, do not fear him who can kill the body, but fear him who can kill both the body and the soul. So you have to be willing to die for this truth. I keep having the same dream, and nothing's changed. And the last part for building up your spiritual immune system is keeping ourselves set apart from the world. They call it, the world is doing it right now, talking about some social separatism. I laugh. You mean being set apart? I'm trying to be set apart from y'all wickedness, and we've been trying to be set apart from you. Not entangling yourselves with the affairs of the world, trying to be a part of the world, blending in with the world where there's no difference with the world. You look like the world, you sound like the world, and then when people bring it up to you, you get mad. What are you getting mad for? Know that they're not mad with you when they get upset. They're mad with the word. And every time you walk before them, if you're walking upright, you're a reminder of what they don't want to do. So they abhor you. You're a thorn in their side. The two witnesses are already on the scene. The 2 houses, the house of Judah and the house of Ephraim or Israel. And then the last thing to build your immune system is praise. They were able to bring down the wall of Jericho. Praising, singing. prophesying with instruments. Did you know they were prophesying with instruments, praising, singing hymns and songs to Yah? The word is powerful, more powerful than a two-edged sword. When you have thoughts that enter your mind that are not like him, we have the power and authority to bring down strongholds. 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, meaning we do not fight with fleshly things, but mighty in Yah for pulling down strongholds, casting down imagination, and bringing every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah into captivity, bringing every thought to the obedience of the Messiah Yeshua. You are commanding. When you start thinking things that are not of Yah, when your mind, because the battlefield, your mind is a battlefield. Start quoting Yah's word, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah, and bringing into captivity every thought to obey the Messiah, Yeshua. And so should the people of Yah be fearing the COVID-19? Exodus 8:22-23, but on that day, Yah said, I will set apart the land of Goshen where my people are living, so that no swarms of the flies will be there, in order that you may know that I am Yah in the midst of the land. I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow is the sign. I meant to put Yah there. Yah will remove from you all sickness, and he will not put on you any of the harmful diseases of Egypt, which you have known, but he will lay them on all those who hate you. Are you looking at this? He said, I'm not going to bring any of these plagues, any of these sicknesses, any of these harmful diseases on Egypt that you've known. He said, but I'm going to lay them on all the people who hate you. On everybody else that hate you, I'm going to lay them on them. Look at this. Look what COVID-19 is doing right now. Yah's word is true. So says my word that proceeds from my mouth. He says, Yah says, my word will not return to me empty, but it will accomplish what I please, and it will prosper where I send it. He says it will not fail to do what I planned for it to do. Whatever he said I sent it to do, it's going to do it. We can count on Yah. His word will never fail. Praise be to Yah, who has given rest to his people Israel, just as he promised. And it says, not one word has failed of all the good promises he gave through his servants Moshe. Not one. Not one of his words has not failed us. His word is true. We can trust him. We can seek refuge in him, unlike the wicked. The wicked they didn't believe his word. Tells us in Psalms 106, they didn't believe. They didn't believe his word. We are not like the wicked. Are you understanding? We're not like them. Remember, after the transgression in the Garden of Eden, remember we did this on a previous lesson that I did when I was on the birth of our Messiah, Yeshua, talking about the importance of the seed. It's all about the seed. Once you understand the seed, you will put away he wasn't born of a virgin. He was born of a virgin. He wasn't born of the set of spirit. It's in the seed. They don't have no understanding. The set apart spirit's not giving them understanding because they don't believe. But remember, after the transgression in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve took from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, what happened? After the transgression, when they took from the fruit of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, what seed was planted in them? What seed? See, the seed invades the egg. What seed was planted? When the seed changed, so did the instructions. Remember, we talked about the instructions are the DNA, and then our nature changed. So our nature now followed the instructions of the seed that was contained within it. I'm gonna say this again. When after the sin or the transgression in the garden, when they took part from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, when that seed was planted, when that seed changed, so did the instructions. The instructions are the DNA. Our nature changed. So now mankind has the propensity to sin. Our nature to sin is more evident now. It now follows the instructions of the seed that was contained in it. That wasn't the case before. The first thing they did to prove that what I'm saying is true is they went to cover themselves because they were ashamed. They knew they had done something wrong. They didn't know that before. Now they did. So the Torah is our DNA. The Torah is our instructions for life. The Torah is, and walking in it is how you build up your spiritual immune system. Remember, the DNA is the instructions for how to live, how to develop, how to reproduce. We talked about this when we went over the words for preparation. The Torah or the law is life. Life contains the teachings and instructions that you need to live, to develop, and to reproduce. This is how you build up your immune system. Keep your immune system strong and alive and develop and continuing to reproduce what is needed to fight off pathogens, or in this case, false prophets. Isaiah 42:21 says, Yah was pleased because of his righteousness to magnify his instructions and to make it honorable. So now, when you get baptized, water baptized, and then you are baptized by fire, meaning by the Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart spirit, Colossians 3:6 says, now you put on your new nature because now you're born again. We're born again of the seed that is incorruptible, not the corruptible seed like before. So now that you are born again, put on your new nature, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. Okay, so the immune system now, we have a new immune system that is being built up in the image of its creator. Remember, the primary function of the immune system is to reproduce self, and if it's not of self, it is going to defend. That we are supposed to be defenders of the faith, contending for the faith. That means there's a fight. That's why I say you wrestle not against flesh and blood, because it is a literal battle. Psalms 40:8, I delight to do thy will, O Yah, yea, thy law is within my heart. So I'm reading this last scripture before I bring Prina in. Psalms 112 says, hallelujah, blessed is the man who fears Yah, delighting greatly in his commandments. His seed shall be mighty on the earth. The generations of the upright shall be blessed. For he will never be shaken, meaning he will not be moved. He will continue to be established and fixed and taking a stand and not move. He shall not be afraid of bad news. No matter what's going on with this coronavirus, we will not be moved. We will not be shaken. We will not be afraid of bad news. It says, because his heart remains confident, meaning his heart is secure, is fixed, is established, is grounded in trusting Yah. So again, we're not worried about the coronavirus. We're not just preparing for the coronavirus. We are preparing for a spiritual battle, not just improving and building up our physical immune system, which we do need to do, but we need to be prepared not only for your body, but your mind, your body, and your soul. Are you understanding where you're going to go when you leave this earth? You need to be preparing and building up your spiritual immune system. And Revelations 14:6, therefore it says to the house of Israel, so says Almighty Yah, turn and be turned from your idols, turn away your faces from all your abominations. It is time for us to repent. You can come in. It is time for us to repent and to make sure you have been given everything you needed to know today to prepare for building up your spiritual immune system. Your spiritual immune system should be mimicking how Yah has designed our bodily immune system.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, sis. I really truly love this lesson. I've learned so much about the immune system in itself.
Yes, I sure did too.
That I did not know. But I just my favorite is just how you took the body immune system and you show how it mimics the spiritual system in many ways. For example, when you did testing the spirit, you know, and showing how pathogens as it relates to the body, if your defense, you know, it mimics the body tissues, and so therefore false wolves and I'm sorry.
Can you repeat that again?
Those are the disciples aware that they are false prophets. Then you hear me, sis?
Yeah, it's breaking up. The connection was breaking up for a moment, but go ahead. I didn't hear anything you said.
Did you need me to repeat that?
Yeah, you can.
Out the bodies. Huh? Can you hear me?
No, it's just keep breaking up. I don't know why. It's the connection, I guess. Go ahead. Just keep talking. Just hopefully I'm catching it.
Okay, no, I was just saying, sis, that I really love how you connected the body system with the spiritual. For example, when you compared the pathogens that you know, Eric Berg talked about, and how it mimics the immune system. Once it gets past the first line of defense, it can mimic the body tissues, and how you compared it to, you know, wolves in sheep clothing, and you know how they mimic the disciples, and if you are not aware that they have, you know, gone past the line of defense, you will be deceived. So I'm just learning, you know, how with the spiritual warfare, you know, when you compare that, just the whole lesson in its totality was awing to me. I just like you Sarah mentioned earlier, you know, when you think you learned, and Yah is just so amazing how he created us, just from not only the immune system, but just in totality. I'm just in awe of him. And so I really truly love this lesson, and it really we really should be getting our spiritual house in order. Yes, you are. I'm not saying don't not prepare for what's to come, but your main concern should be your salvation at this point. Yah is crying out, and with his arms open, you know, he's giving us this time to get it right. I mean, we see so much in the last year since 2020 came in.
Yeah, 2020 been on bump.
Yes, that should be a sign in itself that something spiritual is going on.
Yes, it is.
So you know, my spirit has been unrest. I took a nap earlier today, and immediately I heard in my spirit, time has come, awake my people.
No. Yep, that is.
So I mean, he's been just like with you, like, you know, with other brothers and sisters out here that I've been seeing, you know, trying to wake our people, because I mean, it's an urgency. This is not going away.
No.
This is not going away. So, you know, and I've been seeing a lot of coronavirus memes and people making jokes about it, but you mocking Yah. And you got to be careful what you're doing because, you know, you think you exempt. You know, and I know people trying to be in, you know, in light of humor, but you got to know your limit of humor. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and all, sis, I just love how you broke down and you used what Dr. Berg, how he talked about the immune system, and then you had a comparison to the spiritual on every level, from, you know, testing the spirit, spiritual warfare, diminishing strongholds, and just how to build your body, your immune system, you know, your spiritual immune system with the Torah, with the word of Yah, because that's your line of defense and your own line.
Ephesians 6 tell you exactly what that, especially with the breastplate when I learned
that. Yes, the spiritual warfare. Yes, I really love that one. And just how to recognize a pathogen, you know, and how to build up your immune system. Now, those key points was very, you know, a key target in building up your immune system. You know, prayer, fasting, studying to show yourself approved, you know, obeying Yah's word, remaining faithful, enduring to the end, and keeping yourselves set apart, and most importantly, praising Yah and giving thanksgiving to Him. So I just love this lesson. Praise be to Yah. This was well worth the wait.
It took all day.
Literally, you know, because I really learned some things, especially about pathogens and how it blocks the vitamin D, and how you compare that to the sun, and not only the sun, but the, you know, the son of Yah. I was just in awe of just that, you know, that comparison too, you know, without the light, you know, without him, all things are dead. And also, again, with the sun, you know, we need the sun for energy, and, you know, and for heat and light source. So I just, this lesson was just in awe for me. I really learned a lot about the immune system that I did not know. So praise be to Yah.
Praise be to Yah.
Yes.
So I'll have you go us out, because we're running late, so I'm trying to get off here.
Okay, yes, sis. So I'm reading from 1 Chronicles 29, verses 10 through 13 and 18. And David blessed Yah before all the eyes of the congregation. And David said, "Blessed are you, O Yah, the power of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. To you, O Yah, be the greatness and the power and the high esteem and the victory and the majesty. For all in the heavens and the earth belongs to you. O Yah, yours is the kingdom, and you lift up yourself to all as head. And the riches and the honor come before you, and you rule over all. And in your hand is power and might, and it is in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. And now our power, we're giving thanks to you and giving praise to your high esteemed name. O Yah, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers, keep this forever for the intent of the thoughts of the heart of your people, and prepare their heart toward you. In Yeshua's name, so be it.
In Yeshua's name, so be it. So we want to thank you for joining us today. If you learned something, please comment and leave and share this teaching with as many people as you can, because we are in this time now where our people are going to need to know how to build up their spirit man, how to build up their spiritual immune system, and how to fight, because it's a war that is here, not coming, it's already here, and we need to be strengthened and know exactly what we need to do, be able to activate the word of Yah for us. So having said that, we pray that you will enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.